Look at this. This feels really good. My name is Sarah Ahmed, and I'm with the Virginia League of Conservation Voters. I'm honored to be here with you today as we call on lawmakers to deliver solutions that protect Virginians from data centers. Today, you are going to hear from profoundly passionate, relentless community leaders, advocates who have been doing the work way before the headlines, right?
The backbone! Yeah!
You're going to hear from Virginians, and I am humbled to welcome each speaker to this podium today. Anyone have advice about the breathing? Just do it better, breathe better.
Keep doing it. Don't lean into it.
This right here is where the real fight is happening. Getting Loud helped. It's happening in our neighborhoods, at our county board meetings, and right here on the ground. For months, local communities across Virginia have been leading the charge, standing up and saying as clear as possible, enough is enough.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
We are sick and tired of data centers, and our politicians need to act.
Hell
Yes!
What's a data center? I'm happy to tell you. In my humble opinion, a data center is the embodiment of corporate greed.
Absolutely.
A system rigged against everyday Virginians, housed in giant industrial-scale, power-hungry warehouses that are changing the fabric of communities across Virginia.
Yes.
And we have more of them than anywhere else in the world.
Enough is enough!
Enough is enough.
Enough
Is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
Enough!
Had a girl.
Today we are united. We are unified with a clear message. Until we have solutions that hold this industry accountable, data center approvals need to stop.
Yes! Moratorium now!
But while regular Virginians are screaming, enough is enough, next time you have to scream. What are our state lawmakers and governor in Richmond doing on data centers?
Selling us out.
Whatever the industry asks for.
Making a profit.
Ooh, shame!
That's why we are here. You let us down. Like you guys, I am angry. I am fed up. A lot of our fellow Virginians feel the same way. We are looking at our latest utility bills.
Woo! Highest I ever had, and I have solar and an EV.
Highest she's ever had. We are looking at them and our jaws are dropping. Because if I recall, we went to the ballot box this past November and we gave state lawmakers a clear mandate.
Yes,
Affordability.
Yes.
Affordability to afford things. Yes, I heard a lot about affordability from decision makers on their campaign trails.
Bingo.
I heard a lot about wanting change. So, elected lawmakers and Governor Spanberger, when does change start? Let's look at what we got in the state budget. Our state lawmakers had the perfect opportunity to live up to their promises, to hold the data center industry accountable, to cut energy bills and protect our environment. But what did they do?
Nothing.
They sided with big tech over us.
Shame!
When does change start?
Now! Right here!
Right now! Right here!
here.
Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Right here.
Right now.
Right now.
And if you're not a chance person, I want you to be angry. You get to yell, and we get to yell together, all of us. And they work right over there. So this is our moment. Our electricity bills are creeping higher and higher. While our wells are running dry, more and more Virginians have to live with a constant hum in their ears, and their pets too. The richest of the rich corporations in the history of the world are getting, you guessed it, richer. How is that fair? How is that leadership? Leadership, when does change start?
Right now.
Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Right here.
Right now.
And by the way, we have the receipts. The Virginia League of Conservation Voters just released a new poll, and the results are undeniable. Listen to this, folks. 71% of Virginians believe data center construction should be stopped until lawmakers step up and hold data centers accountable.
Yes.
71%.
Yes.
Don't know what the confusion is there. The people of Virginia have spoken. It's time for politicians to listen. Change needs to start now. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Look at that. Look at us. We are calling on Governor Spanberger and state leaders to listen to the people who elected them. If you won't pass the guardrails we need, then you must put an immediate pause on all state data center permitting. And until then, we are watching and we are organizing.
We are here.
Thank you. Local communities started this fight, and we are with you. When does change start? See, I was building up to something. Before I bring up our first speaker, join me. Change starts now.
Change starts now. Change starts now. Change starts now. Change starts now.
Leadership. I know you just saw angry Sarah. I'm sorry. We are counting on you though. So please do something. And now, I am honored to bring up our first speaker today, Miss Monica Hutchinson, excuse me. Monica serves as the president of the Henrico NAACP, where she leads vital initiatives to champion civil rights, drive voter education, and foster robust community advocacy across the region. She has been a major force in community environmental justice, actively organizing efforts to monitor and address toxic regional industrial emissions affecting Eastern Henrico's majority Black population. It is my privilege, and please put your hands together and bring up with energy Miss Monica Hutchinson.
That's what's up. Thank you. Like she said, yes, my name is Monica Hutchinson. I am the president for Henrico County NAACP. So I'm not going to recap everything that you've already heard, but I do want to add that just a few days ago, Henrico County government officials announced that the electricity rates for local government and schools were skyrocketing, 25%, excuse me, a staggering $5 million spike, right? But instead of making tech billionaires pay, our elected officials here, our governor, told our teacher in Henrico, right, or telling our teachers to turn off the lights, pull window blinds to conserve power. The absolute disrespect that, what's up, you can't hear me? Oh, you know I got a big mouth, so. All right. Data centers are powering up while our schools are powering down. But we are here today to tell the General Assembly and the governor that we cannot wait.
We cannot wait. We cannot wait. We cannot wait. We cannot wait. We cannot wait. We cannot wait. We will not wait. We will not wait.
Hey! Hey! We must protect our frontline communities now, because every single month that they delay is another month that tech companies lock in more destruction, more concrete, more corporate greed at the expense of Virginia neighborhoods, many of which are black communities. But the NAACP, we have a Stop Dirty Data Center campaign that has a blueprint for what real protection looks like. And it's time for Virginia to listen. The NAACP has been working with communities across the country that stand to experience the negative impacts of data centers. Using policy, the courts, and advocacy, we are committed to making sure the benefits outweigh any harm to residents and the environment. As data centers expand, vulnerable communities face new environmental and climate justice challenges, including water contamination and depletion, air pollution, excessive energy use, quality of life concerns, and an equitable siting of the development. The NAACP's plan calls for a proactive approach and a united front for local leaders, advocates, and organizers as we build people power, demand transparency, and protect community health through grassroots action. This is getting on my nerve, I'm sorry. Through grassroots action. Some of our demands: total transparency, no more backroom rezoning, no more NDAs, no more secret deals. Our community must be at the table from the very beginning. Before the permits are granted, before the first shovel hits the ground. We must be at the table. We demand to be at the table. And if a tech giant wants to operate in Virginia, we also demand that they sign legally binding and publicly disclose agreements that guarantee fair and equitable investments, protect local resources, and provide direct support to the neighborhood in which they are trying to come in. Corporations can no longer receive tax breaks for the harm that they cause communities. We demand corporate tax accountability for data center build-outs in our communities. And data centers must pay for any grid changes, and there must be clear ratepayer protections. Data centers need to bring their own clean energy. That's right. We must have conservation of non-renewable resources, and data centers must be prohibited from construction and land use on protected areas.
That's right.
We demand no more drain on our water resources or polluting our water sources. Tech companies must bear the full burden of their energy footprint, not our families, and dang sure not our public school budgets. We also must ensure that our youth have the skills for the future. Many of our black students missed out on the coding boom. We must not allow that to happen with this new technological era that we are now in. We must ensure that our youth have access to tools, resources, funding, and the skills to ensure access to the jobs of the future, not just entry-level jobs either, but all jobs, including executive level. Okay? Y'all need to clap for that. Okay? Because had we organized, had we advocated, had we had support when we are in that building asking for coding to be considered as an alternative to foreign language, when we are over here demanding more resources in schools, then maybe more black kids would have been able to be in the rooms when these decisions are being made about what data centers look like. But instead, you didn't.
Preach.
So keep in mind, we are not anti-technology. We all use internet and other technological advances, but we demand an equal right to clean air, clean water, affordable electricity, and community respect. The black community has had to deal with environmental injustices for far too long.
That's right.
Often with our pleas falling on deaf ears. Because let's be honest, some people have only started paying attention because their light bills went sky high. But I need you to understand that we've been here fighting by ourselves in a lot of spaces, right? We welcome you to this fight with us, but please, please understand this. The NAACP will always be here fighting to ensure that our community is not exploited by anyone. And if anyone has a problem with what I just said, then maybe you are the anyone of which I speak. Because if you truly care about the negative impacts on our communities by data centers, I also need you to care about the negative impacts from all environmental threats, including ethylene oxide, coal ash, toxic trash ash, and more. Because see, we demand the right for our community to not just survive, but to thrive. A healthy community is a safe and happy community. You can go to naacp.org, join your local NAACP branch, because we need more people in the fight. And you can also learn more about our Stop Dirty Data Centers campaign, because like I said, we're not new to this. We've been convening. We have national partners. We work with elected officials and other advocates. We've been here doing this work. So we need you to join us. But like I said, you can learn more about our campaign. Because I want to leave with this. I want Richmond to hear us today. I want the tech billionaires to hear us today. And I want everybody here to hear us today. That we, the people, demand that they put our families over their data. That they put our schools over their profits, because enough is enough.
That's right.
Monica, Virginia is so lucky to have you. All right, I'm going to bring up our next speaker, Ms. Catherine J. Hatam, a George Washington graduate in Botetourt County, Virginia, raised in Botetourt County, Virginia. Catherine Hatam is an experienced filmmaker active in several community organizations. As a member of the Southwest Virginia Data Center Transparency Alliance, she made regional headlines for confronting the local board of supervisors over a lack of transparency regarding hyperscale data center approvals. Alongside her environmental advocacy, Catherine champions diverse and underserved voices to expand accessibility to filmmaking. Please join me in welcoming Catherine J. Hatam.
Alrighty. Hi friends, thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for having me from Botetourt, Virginia. I'm seeing so many friendly faces from our Northern and Central Virginia crew. I know some folks came up from Botetourt as well. Thank you for being here. So, as someone who works in film, you know that I know a dystopian horror when I see one. For those of you who don't know this crazy plot line, let me lay it out for you super quick. What we are seeing, the stage is set in the Thanksgiving holiday of 2024, where there is an atypical joint meeting of our Planning Commission as well as our Board of Supervisors. During this meeting, changes were rapidly pushed through to our zoning codes, land sales were discussed, all kinds of crazy stuff on the Thanksgiving holiday, with not the best notice, right? People are out of town. Now, what happened was a parcel of land was rezoned industrial, and greenways, data centers, and trails, not exactly the same thing, were approved as by right uses. For anybody who doesn't know what by right uses means, as soon as that land is bought, you can do whatever you want with it if it's for these certain purposes. That's not typical, that's not fair, that's not right, and that's not safe. So, what we then saw is that this meeting said that this land sale and these changes were purely speculative. There's no certain reason. But what we have learned since is that through FOIA information, they didn't give it to us for free, through FOIA information we have learned that discussions about data centers went back years, if not months, years, people knew exactly what they were discussing and exactly what those zoning changes would mean. It would mean that Google, one of the tech giants of our age, could come in, buy this land, and build whatever they wanted for data centers on it. Now, enter some of our heroes, because this is our plot line, right? The Roanoke Rambler is a small local newspaper online. They did amazing investigative work. They were pushing for information on how much water this thing was actually going to use. They were asking the hard questions. They even took the Water Authority to court. Now, the Western Virginia Water Authority is basically a water monopoly in our area, and they did not want to release information on what this data center project would mean for us because they were hiding behind NDAs. As you guys know, this is the playbook for big tech companies across the country. So they said, we can't give you that information, it's proprietary. The Roanoke Rambler said, oh yes you can. And they took them to court, and they forced a release of some of this information. Now, through all that good work, we learned some really scary facts, anywhere from 2 to 8 million gallons of water per day from an already taxed and old water infrastructure, a very underserved reservoir or two that cannot support that kind of withdrawal, even though they claim, oh guys, we have more water than we know what to do with. In a global drought? Yep. So, as of last measure, Carvin's Cove, our main reservoir, is 14.8 feet below pond level. It has been there for weeks, hovering in the 13s and 14s, and while it has been low before, it, to my knowledge, has never been this low for this long. Our Spring Hollow Reservoir, which is a smaller reservoir that serves the greater area, is 19 feet below pond level. You can check out this information online. So, after all that great work from the Roanoke Rambler, unfortunately, the owner was moving, and he sold his paper to somebody who promised to take good care of the work, to take good care of the staff, to continue asking the hard questions. But despite that, the staff was summarily fired. Weird, right? Suddenly all these reporters that have national accolades for the work that they're doing are fired without cause. The paper has been releasing AI-generated articles and AI-generated images for months. The new staff is largely not from here, and those who are supposedly from here, nobody seems to know. Now, what I can tell you is Google, throughout this entire process, has promised to be a good neighbor. Google is lying.
Yes, absolutely.
Google, Meta, Amazon, and every other tech company, when they say that they're going to come into your community, contribute to it, be a good neighbor, they're lying. Do you want to know how we know? Because they're not doing anything about it. Google was grandfathered in because of the ridiculous legislation that we've got going on at the state level, right? So technically, they don't have to upgrade their equipment. They don't have to have higher level generators. But they could if they wanted to be a good neighbor, but they're not. They could give more money for mitigation efforts. They could release plans to make sure that our protected streams and wetlands, 6 of which run through their site, would be protected. But they're not doing that. Instead, they're continuing to hide and make sure that information is not released. Their idea of engagement has been a Google fair, we've coined it unfair, in which each booth gave us different information. New information released through FOIAs has shown that now, instead of 1 to 2 million gallons a day, we're talking about 11 or 12. It's insane. It's insane. We are in a nationwide and worldwide drought. We are allowing these extractive companies that steal jobs to come into our communities, and some of our elected officials are rolling out the red carpet. It must stop. It must stop. Can I get a it must stop? It must stop. It must stop. It must stop.
It must stop.
Now, I will tell you there are other heroes on the scene. The Southwestern Virginia Data Center Transparency Alliance is a new organization, and we are ready, willing, and begging for your help. We want to learn from you. Please check out swvadcta.org for all the information about us. It's a long website. You can get it from me after. But we are doing amazing work in our community along with Stop Botetourt Data Centers and many other community members, some of which who will have a data center less than 500 feet from their back door. Not to mention the elementary school that is with a 1 mile square radius, not to mention my mother's house within 6. So that means that we have insane risks to our community, risks to our health, and no matter what Google promises to give us, we already know that they are lying. It's not worth it. They could give us the moon and it still wouldn't be worth our health. It would not be worth the jobs lost to extractive AI. It would not be worth our children's hearing that is going to be affected by this development or the risk to our seniors. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
So guys, here's...
It's not worth it.
It's not. So guys, thank you so very much for your time. Please do come see me. Please reach out. For our Northern and Central Virginia friends, thank you so very much for the aid that you have already offered. Please continue to learn from each other because Southwestern Virginia Data Center Transparency Alliance wants to make sure that communities no longer have to be reactive to these threats. Google has their playbook and they are recycling their propaganda for each community they enter. We now know that it's lies, and we have our own playbook, and we are the heroes of this story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We know how water works. That was absolutely incredible. Incredible. We have 30 more minutes and 3 more amazing speakers. I can go over to the grassy knoll over there, speakers, if you'd like me to just kind of give you a signal when you have about 2 minutes left. And with that, I will bring up our next phenomenal activist and speaker, Miss Beatrix Jackson.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have my words written out so I can be succinct with time, also make sure that I am staying on track. I want to let you know I'm coming here as a citizen, as a community member, as a wife and a mother. I want people to know that we are people over profits, and that is what is going to perpetuate through what I will say today. I also am speaking for people who feel like they need to be experts in this to be involved. You do not. You need to approach this with inquiry, with questions, with passion, and know that we are humans, we are earth stewards, and we are here to protect what we love, which should be each other and the earth that we live on, over the profits that would come from data centers. All right, well, again, my name is Beatrix Jackson Plaza, and I live in Verina. This conversation about data centers became personal for me long before I ever attended a public hearing or read a planning document. My husband is a combat veteran, and after years of serving this country, what he and our family found was something priceless in Verina. It was peace. We chose to live in Verina because it still feels like a place where children play outside, where you can wake up to birds instead of machinery, where neighborhoods exist alongside wetlands, forests, farmlands, and schools. It's a place where our family has been able to breathe, heal, and build a life. When I learned about the proposed data center near Darbytown Road, I realized this wasn't simply another development project. It was a question about what kind of Virginia we're building. I believe we need to zoom out. Every proposal comes before us one project at a time. Every hearing asks us to evaluate one parcel. But our communities don't experience these projects one at a time. We experience them cumulatively. We experience the roads, the substations, the transmission lines, the industrial cooling equipment, the water demand, the light pollution, the continuous mechanical noise, the changing landscape, the loss of forests and open space. That's exactly why we have to zoom out. Data centers are here, and they're becoming part of the future conversation. They do support the internet, which we rely on so much for the organization that we do. They support power and businesses, our hospitals, schools, research, and increasingly artificial intelligence. But embracing innovation should never mean abandoning stewardship. And that is the choice that people are making, and that's not right. These facilities, not at all. These facilities require enormous amounts of electricity and significant water resources. They operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and their cooling systems, backup generators, lighting, and supporting infrastructure permanently change the character of the nearby communities and affect us. They affect us. Scientists continue to study these long-term effects, but what about the conversations around those constant low-frequency noise vibrations and other environmental exposures associated with large industrial facilities? This uncertainty should not be dismissed. It should be thought through. It should be spoken about. It should be shared with transparent communication, metrics, data, conversations, ongoing monitoring, and transparent public reporting so that communities can make informed decisions.
Yes.
So many of these items live in silos, and so much of it is removed from public discussion and sight, and that is not right.
That's not right.
Not at all. We're also seeing unprecedented growth in electricity demands, which so many of us have spoken about, even so much that our local government has asked for our employees to be mindful of their energy consumption to buoy these rising costs, which is wild. As Virginia moves, and I hate to say that, but as Virginia moves to welcome in energy-intensive industries, we must know how these costs are going to be managed. We must. We must know how our grid will remain reliable. We must know how we can accelerate cleaner energy solutions that protect both our environment and Virginia families. We must have these conversations, and lawmakers must have them with us. This conversation isn't just about today's demands, it's about the Virginia our children inherit, and our communities deserve safeguards. We deserve meaningful green buffer standards that preserve mature trees, not token landscaping, but provide living barriers that reduce noise, improve air quality, support wildlife, and help maintain the character of our neighborhoods. We deserve independent studies that evaluate traffic, emergency response capacity, electrical infrastructure, water availability, and cumulative environmental impacts before our projects move forward. We have to stop being reactive, and we have to start being proactive. We deserve transparency about water use, energy consumption, generator testing, environmental monitoring, and the long-term operational impacts. We deserve community benefit agreements that clearly identify who owns these facilities, who profits from them, where the revenue is going, and how host communities will directly benefit through investments in schools, parks, environmental restoration, workforce development, and neighborhood resilience. We deserve accountability that remains in place long after the ribbon is cut, even if ownership changes years later. My call today is not simply to local officials, but to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Governor Spanberger, I hope your administration has the opportunity to make Virginia the national model for responsible technology development. Together, we can build a Virginia responsible data center framework that protects our water, strengthens clearer energy standards, preserves our natural landscape, requires meaningful community engagement, requires it. not decisions that are made by a few individuals, but requires that we reach out to our community members, we reach out to our neighbors, and we engage them in those conversations, because these decisions do not just affect one, it affects all.
That's right.
From the start.
That's right.
From the start.
That's right.
And we ensure transparency and accountability from groundbreaking to operation. Virginia, right now, the data shows we have the most data centers in the world. In the world. And yes, we may be able to build the most data centers, but we also need to be the one to build them the most responsibly.
Yes.
I want to say something to everyone listening today. Please don't think that you have to be anti-anything to ask questions. You can support the internet. You can support use of AI. You can support economic development, and you can believe in innovation and still insist on clean air, and still insist on protected water, and still insist on quiet neighborhoods and healthy ecosystems, and communities that have meaningful voice in decisions that will shape them for generations. These ideas are not in conflict. You can be a normal citizen like me and ask questions and show up and say no.
Yeah.
That's right.
In fact, that's exactly how innovation earns public trust.
Yes.
My hope today is simple, that more Virginians realize that they have every right to ask these questions.
Yes.
They have every right to ask where the power comes from, to ask where the water comes from,
Yes.
to ask who is benefiting, and to ask who is accountable,
Yes.
Yes.
to ask what kind of future we are building together. Because progress without stewardship is not progress at all. Thank you.
Spanberger, just say no. Governor Spanberger, just say no. Governor Spanberger, just say no.
Yeah, that had a little something to it. Thank you so much, Ms. Jackson. All right, I'm going to bring up our next speaker. Sorry about losing my voice. I have throat coat tea, but I do have a 2-year-old in preschool. Jennifer Corpus is a grassroots organizer from Hanover County and founder of Friends of Hanover and Stop Hanover Data Centers. Listen to all these grassroots groups you've heard today.
Yes.
When her group was started, there were 4 data centers. I'm going to fight this mic. There were 4 data center proposals threatening her rural county. Today, there's only 1 proposal left standing. Because her group's efforts in mobilizing Hanover citizens, amazing citizens, caused 2 developers to withdraw their proposals and the Board of Supervisors to vote down the 3rd. That community came together, like Ms. Jackson was saying. This is a bipartisan front.
That's right.
Join me in welcoming Jennifer Corpus.
For years, we've been told that politics is about choosing a side. We were taught to fight each other so we'd never notice who was actually taking from us. While working people argued over red and blue, somebody else was buying up our land, straining our electric grid, draining our water, and siphoning the profits out. That is how power works when it doesn't want to be challenged. It divides the people who have the least and protects the people who already have the most.
That's right.
Yes.
But that is not what happened in Hanover. In Hanover, people who disagree about almost everything, trust me, they found something they could agree on. That their community was worth protecting, their children deserved better, they love the land, and that decisions about Hanover should belong to the people who live there, not the corporations who profit there. And together, we won. We didn't defeat 3 data centers because one political party beat another. We defeated them because ordinary people stopped fighting each other and started fighting for each other. Hanover proved something the most powerful companies in the world never wanted us to discover, that they can be beaten. Sure, they have more money, more lobbyists, more lawyers, more political influence, but they do not have more people. And when ordinary people refuse to be divided, there is no corporation big enough to stop them. That is the power of the people.
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
The people united
will never be defeated.
And that is why every elected official in Virginia needs to hear us clearly. Governor Spanberger, Speaker Scott, and every legislator in this Commonwealth, if you cannot look your constituents in the eye and tell us where you stand on data centers, then do not expect your constituents to stand with you. Too many people think that this fight begins inside the Capitol, but it doesn't. It begins in neighborhood meetings, at kitchen tables, and in conversations between neighbors who decide they are done waiting for someone else to come save them.
That's right.
Because politicians don't create movements, movements create politicians.
change the world.
And when Virginians stand together, elected officials have to answer to us, not the other way around. And to every organization that says it stands with impacted communities, we remember this ledge session. We remember who spoke plainly, and we remember who stayed quiet while compromises were negotiated around us. We welcome everyone who is ready to stand with us now. But understand this, our communities cannot afford another season of silence followed by a season of solidarity. You don't get to find your voice after the votes are counted and call yourself an ally after the damage is done. Because while some orgs were weighing political calculations, working families were wondering what would happen to their homes, water, health, electric bills, and their lives. So when the pressure comes, and it's coming, we need every institution that claims to stand with Virginia's communities to actually stand with us. Because that is when solidarity means something. Because we've all heard the compromises. Make them pay their fair share. Bring their own energy. Use clean energy. Different arguments, but the same base level assumption that more data centers are inevitable. We reject that.
That's right.
We are not negotiating over how exactly Virginia gets sacrificed. We are deciding whether Virginia gets sacrificed at all.
That's right.
We say no. We are not interested in feeling like we won. We are interested in winning.
That's right.
So let there be no confusion. The people of Virginia want a statewide moratorium, nothing less. Hanover was not an exception. We were the proof. We are the proof that ordinary people can be stronger than corporate money. Proof that Virginia does not belong to big tech. Virginia belongs to Virginians. They told us Republicans and Democrats would never stand together. We proved them wrong. And now they're telling us a statewide moratorium is impossible. Let's prove them wrong again. No more free passes. No more greenwashed compromises, and no more sacrificing communities. Not one more data center.
Hello, everyone. It is truly a pleasure to be standing before you today. Seeing people who care enough to show up their community really warms my heart. If I start crying, just ignore me. This journey started back for me in January. I heard through Newport News City Council that there were conversations happening behind the scenes as our city officials were discussing data centers and what those things could bring. I knew how harmful these data centers were, and I knew that I did not want one in my community. I started a petition that received 4,000 signatures in over a month and gained a lot of media attention in our local community. So much so that our vice mayor reached out to me and had a conversation with me for 2 hours discussing my concerns. The vice mayor and the mayor of Newport News were forced to come out to say that there was no data center on the table. Nice. So thankfully, that is still true. But knowing what I knew I couldn't just drop it. It wasn't just Newport News, it's our entire Commonwealth. So I have expanded my work to work in other communities in Hampton Roads. I have lived in Virginia my whole life. She is truly a gem. Sorry. She has anything you could ever ask for. My mother used to take us to Virginia mountains as a child, and now I swim in Virginia beaches with my own children. And she is not given the dignity she deserves. Like any other rise of major industry that has happened in human history, corporations are taking everything with little regard to the damage they are doing. They are polluting our air, poisoning our water, risking our safety, and destroying our communities for the sake of capitalistic gain. Now, Virginia is known by many nicknames. She is known as the Old Dominion, the Mother of Presidents, the Mother of States, and the Cavalier State, where we are now known as Data Center Alley. As of right now, Virginia is home to 736 data centers that are either active or under construction. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
We have more in our state alone than the entirety of the United Kingdom, which is the country with the second most concentration of data centers at 555. Is this something we want?
No!
Is this something we should be proud of?
No!
Our communities are suffering. Data centers use 26% of all of the electricity used in the Commonwealth in Virginia and over 2 billion gallons of water a year. And yet our communities are the ones that are paying for it. That's right. Dominion Energy just raised prices for a second time this year.
Yes.
Citing natural gas price increases and the need to import electricity into the state to ensure our power grid isn't failing, and failure is inevitable. Data centers are not paying their fair share for the consumption of resources. However, we are being asked to conserve energy and to conserve water.
Bad joke.
Yeah. For example, the average individual consumes an average of 90 gallons a day of water, whereas data centers can consume as much up as 50,000 individuals in a day. We are bearing the burden, not them. People are having to choose between what bills to pay, while data centers get away with murder. But humans are not the only ones who are affected by data center greed. Data centers require huge amounts of land for their buildings. Our ecosystems are being bulldozed over and turned into concrete islands for these companies, contributing to deforestation, ambient air temperature increases, and displacements of our precious wildlife.
Not right.
And CO2 elevation.
Bad deal.
Yes. When the water by data centers is being used, it is treated with different chemicals like PFAs or forever chemicals, anti-freezing agents, and biocides. When this superheated water is returned to the waterways, it disrupts the food chain, poisons the water, and kills marine life because of how hot this water is. The noise pollution caused by the data centers drives everything else away. Now imagine how scared these animals are. There's no food, there's no water, it's loud, and there's nowhere safe to go. It is clear that we have not learned our lesson from watching the rise of previous industries in the past. We are playing the game and writing the rules at the same time, and the only people that are losing are the communities.
Yep. That's right.
Big tech oligarchs are making disgusting amounts of money and killing us at the same time. Our legislators are protecting them, not us. Governor Spanberger's administration imposes a moratorium and is instead calling for compromises between local communities and these corporations. However, this is just not a locality issue. We share the same air and we share the same water, so what affects one community affects us all.
Yes. That's right.
Just as a reminder, we are all in this together. As of today, I am launching another petition for a data center moratorium in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So if you're interested in signing, just come find me. Legislation and regulations need to be put in place to protect us. We need to stop allowing these corporations to do whatever they want with no consequences. It is time to demand that these legislators protect us, those who they are elected to serve, instead of these corporations, and stop putting profits over people.
People over tech bros.
Yeah, every time. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving your community. And thank you for doing whatever it takes to protect it.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Territory. When do we want it? Now.
In just these last couple minutes, I want to express gratitude to all the speakers we heard from today, getting us fired up like that. Monica Hutchison, Catherine J. Hattam, Beatrix Jackson, Jennifer Corpus, and Amanda Dottie. Yeah, that was incredible. And we are, however, most deeply grateful for you all here today. It's your collective voice that matters the most. And like Jennifer was saying, this is a time of intense national division. The narrative, reality, or some combination of both suggests that a path to bipartisanship among Americans is impossible. Then comes Virginia. Then comes Monica, Catherine, Beatrix, Jennifer, Amanda. The resistance.
That's right.
It's like an invisible connective tissue uniting hundreds of thousands of Virginians against data center expansion. This movement stands on the shoulders of the local residents and coalition groups who led the pushback against data centers long before any statewide momentum. Speakers, I see you and I hear you. I heard you today. We got here because of unyielding, everyday Virginians and vital advocacy groups like Piedmont Environmental Council and Data Center Reform Coalition. Right? The resistance shows bipartisan public demand for change. Virginians want their government to act now and protect them from the damage this industry is doing to our wallets and communities. Governor Spanberger and members of the General Assembly, if you haven't gotten the message yet, please act now.
She's lowering her head in shame.
Our message is clear. Until we have solutions that put Virginians and communities first, data center approvals need to stop. We need a moratorium now.
That's right.
Stop kicking the can down the road. There's no cop-out. Stop putting it on local communities. They're already doing their part. That is all. That is all. Thank you so much, everyone. Come over here to sign a petition. We're going to have to disperse shortly. Just in